So the past two examples we've used for preprocessing functions have been a little contrived. We've used them to add a click me to the end of any link on a page, and also to change the images to the Drupal instead of the image that it was supposed to have. In this next step, let's go ahead and add some conditions around these actions to make them a little bit more applicable, a little bit more practical for purposes that preprocessing functions would normally be meant for. Go ahead and jump to your resource pack directory and open up the third step, which is called template.php conditional changes. Go ahead and copy the code and paste it over the code that's currently in your template.php file and save it. We're using the same two preprocessing functions that we had before. We have bat overrides preprocess link and then bat overrides preprocess image, but we're changing the functionality a little bit. For our link, instead of simply adding a click me to the end of the text, what we're going to do is search the text for any instances of read more, and we're going to replace that with some new text that says show me with an exclamation mark. Now, our reasoning for doing this may be that we want to have a more enthusiastic style for our theme, and we'd like to replace this text out with something that's a little more exciting than read more. So what we're doing is we're doing a string position check, which is a PHP function here, strpos, against the text variable, which we used in our previous example, inside of the variables array that gets passed to this function, and we're looking for read more. If it's there somewhere, and we do that by checking against false, we're going to replace that text, and we're going to use string replace to replace read more with show me, and we're replacing that in the text variable inside of the variables array. Now notice that since this variable is being passed by reference, we don't need to return anything. We can simply edit the variables within the context of this function, and those changes will stick. Okay, and in our pre-processing function for images, what we're going to do is only change the source of the image if the user is anonymous. So in this case, maybe we want to encourage people to sign up to our site, and one of the benefits that they'll get is that they'll be able to see actual images instead of image placeholders. So what we'll do is globalize the user so that we can use the variables inside of there, and we're going to check if the user ID is 0. If so, that means that this is an anonymous user. We'll go ahead and change the path then to miss.drupalcon.png. Otherwise, we'll leave it as is. So we've already registered our pre-processing function, so we don't need to rebuild our theme registry, although it wouldn't hurt if we did. Let's go ahead and refresh the page and look at the changes. Okay, I'm going to scroll up to the top. And you see now we have this show me link here where it would normally say read more. And if we go ahead and open another browser and we go to this site as an anonymous user, then we'll see that the images, which we're normally seeing as the default images for those particular pieces of content, are replaced with the Drupal. So I'm going to go ahead and load up that page. And this is an anonymous user, you can tell because we haven't logged in here. And now we see the Drupal for all of the images.